Hello, everybody. It is May the 10th, 2020. Take 6 or 7, or I don't know. Oh, it's been a day already. Hello, everybody. I am Doug Lackey, veteran columnist of Wrestleview.com and co-host of Wrestleview Live alongside the effervescent editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com, Mike Tedesco, where we cover all of the major WWE pay-per-views immediately following them, including Money in the Bank, that's happening later tonight at about 7-ish, but they're doing a pre-show at 6 o'clock, so this is the pre-show to the pre-show of the pre-show. See the Jay in the chat room going, wee! I was worried that I'd have to play Virtua Quest. No, I can't have you going down that route. Look, sorry about all the technical screw-ups and everything. I've been trying a lot of new stuff with the stream, and apparently a lot of the stuff was going haywire, and so we just went back to scratch. Except for we still keep the microphone, we still keep the mixer, we still keep all of that good stuff. I see Mashun in the chat room going, wee! You know what? I'm right now scratching talking about TV. It's not, Gil's saying we aren't classed as essential, being shut down. Yeah, funding is low. Funding is low ever since I kind of went stark crazy on it, so yeah. Not going to review TV shows, getting straight to the bread and butter of the show. Talk about some news, a big-ass WWE milk carton to go over, and then finally going over the predictions for Money in the Bank. 3 new matches were added to the previous 5 that we predicted last Sunday. Going to add them to the card. With how screwed up the show has been, I don't care. Money in the Bank is all locks. I am locking every single match. I deserve it, okay? I deserve it with how this show's been going. So I'm punishing myself, okay? That's what I'm doing. We are going to fill up the sources with our Jose Goze, which is a nice Goze brew of key lime juice, lactose, aged in tequila barrels. A nice 5.1 ABV. If this was Twitch, I'd go full PogChamp. I know, CJ. I know. That's why I fear going back to Twitch, because, oh, God, that would invent so much trolling. It would invent so much trolling. So, all right. Let's do this. Let's talk about some news. First, some somber news, and then also people selling off their stock. Yeah, here we go. Of course, yes, Doug, why don't you have the stuff set up? Yes, I've got it set up. There we go. Start off with some somber news. The, one of the, hosts of WrestleMania 10, rock and roll pioneer, legend, and Little Richard, passed away yesterday at the age of 87. If you were like me, and I know I am, some of us already had thought that he had already passed away. Performed America the Beautiful at WrestleMania 10 in Madison Square Garden in 94. Known for Long Tail Sally, Tutti Frutti. Yep. Rock and roll legend. Rock and roll legend was the Little Richard, and a very, very big user of the drugs. We'll just go ahead and put it that way. Daniel in the chat room going, wee! Happy Mom Day to you, too. All right, before we, speaking of, well, there's no speaking ofs. There's no segues to this one. I find this story incredibly fascinating, especially, with tweets that happened prior to this. WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase is selling his lakeside home amid an embezzlement scandal. If you have not heard about the embezzlement scandal, well, here you go. According to Realtor.com, WWE Hall of Famer Ted DiBiase has put his lakeside home in Madison, Massachusetts up for sale. Madison, Mississippi up for sale. The home, which sits on 1.42 acres overlooking Reunion Lake, is 6,000 square feet, was built in 2010. He's asking for the home a cool $1.5 million and some change. As reported here on Wrestleview.com, it was reported earlier this year that the state of Mississippi gave over $2.1 million of welfare money, federal welfare money, to Ted DiBiase Sr.'s Heart of David nonprofit ministry organization. In addition, the former director of Mississippi's welfare agency and DiBiase's son, Brett, were both arrested back in February in what was the largest public embezzlement case in Mississippi state history. Auditors concluded after an 8-month investigation that the accused conspired to illegally obtain millions in public funds from the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families Fund and program that was administered by the Department of Health and Human Services. Defendants used a variety of business entities and schemes to defraud taxpayers. So, you've embezzled over $2 million from the welfare agency within the state of Mississippi, and you are asking for $1.5 million from your lakeside estate. Yeah. What I find incredibly fascinating about the story was not but 2 days prior to this report that we put out, Ted DiBiase Sr. would tweet some very inspirational tweets about how God is good and everything. I'm sure he is. I am sure he is. There's going to be a lot of stink from this. There's going to be a lot more stuff coming from this. Yeah. Prepare yourselves. This does not look pretty. This ain't looking pretty at all for Mr. DiBiase. Speaking of people who are trying to get, selling stuff for money, Paul Levesque, Triple H, sold more than $1 million worth of his WWE stock this past Monday. This comes on the tail end of last week's report where longtime producer, can't remember the guy's name. Kevin Dunn, sold a chunk of his stock for a good $1.5 million. According to the SEC, Paul Levesque sold 23,255 shares of his company stock at $43.80 a share for approximately a little over $1 million. Oh my God, he's selling away from the... He still has 144,000 shares of stock left. No, it's okay. No, it's all good. Oh, on top of that, his wife, Stephanie McMahon, has sold over $1 million of her stock as well. This past Wednesday, she sold 23,255 shares of stock at a little over $44 a pop to rake in a little over $1 million as well. She also has 144,952 shares left in stock from the WWE. So, what does this mean? When these stories came out, do we need to scroll down on these? I believe we do. Let's go ahead and scroll down. Here we go. Can anyone say insider trading? No, not when you're within their own company. Then, of course, nothing will happen to him, just like nothing ever happens to anyone close to Vince McMahon. We'll have to see what WWE stock does. It has been bouncing a bit lately, but it's down overall from last year's high. Not the best time to sell. Plus, he has the right to do with it as he wants. Less than 5% of the shares he owns hardly is an infraction. Based on the dollar value, he probably needed the capital for another $1 million investment. So they're saying, the commenters, about Paul Levesque. What about Stephanie? They need the money to keep Steph's boobs inflated. Sex. Let me tell you why me, somebody that cannot hold a job and live in his parents' basement, hate watching WWE, thinks the WWE is going bankrupt next month because Steph sold stocks. The comments are amazing on this. One person says, no house shows, no crowds for pay-per-views, just let a buttload of people go. Steph and her trophy husband each sell over 1 mil in stock. What conclusion do you come to? Over $2 million in sales in a couple of days. That's with the stock price down from its high last year. Not the ideal time to sell. We know that. They have a good idea how long there aren't going to be live shows and pay-per-views, though, with uncertainty up in November. I think they're hedging their bets. It's the worst time if they are planning to sell, as the share price would go up as Disney bought the shares to gain control. So your point makes no sense if the company was being sold to Disney. Guys, okay. Here's the deal. Okay. First off, they got plenty of shares left in the company, so it's not like they're relinquishing control of any kind. It's number one. Number two, they might have sold these shares in order to retain some capital because the WWE may not be paying them. That's why. They're getting capital in because they aren't getting any capital from the WWE, because the WWE is not making as much money as it should be. Simple as that. And it ain't insider trading if you work for the damn company. Okay? Disney, and CJ brings it up in the chat room, Disney just bought 90% of Fox. Disney ain't buying jack, okay? More to it, no one's wanting to buy the WWE. No, not at all. No. People will buy UFC before they buy the WWE. UFC's way cheaper. No one's buying the WWE. No, it ain't happening. And not right now. What's more is I don't see the WWE being bought by anyone. Ever. I don't see any corporations or television entities or media conglomerates that are even interested in buying the WWE. No, not at all. No. Let the WWE keep doing its own thing. Once Vince McMahon passes, and then it's left to the children and Paul Levesque, it'll keep on going. For now, there's no big money coming in. The only money that they're relying upon are their WWE network subscriptions, their television contracts that they have with Fox and NBC Universal. So what happens on Fox and NBC Universal in turn brings the money in. ESPN has been cashing in on their contractual contract with the WWE to air content from the WWE network. Fox is doing the same thing, taking advantage of the WWE's library. Fox Sports is airing clips of WrestleMania 3 today. Here's the deal, okay? Everyone that thinks that there's just doom and gloom because those within the company are selling stock, stop it. Just stop. This happens in every corporation that has a humongous downturn. This happens with every company. So just stop. Just stop. CJ kind of playing the devil's advocate in there. Yeah, let's go ahead and talk about that. Yeah, so if Disney is buying WWE, how are they going to market this? How How are they going to do this? First off, they own all of the CIDs. I'm sorry, the ISPs, the intellectual property. They own all of that. So what are they going to do? What are we doing here? Cartoons, Pixar, do a lot of stuff there. But their television programming, they got plenty of it. They don't need them. They don't need WWE. Disney does not need the WWE at all. They don't need them. And no one wants the WWE. WWE is fantastic on its own for being contracted out to give you content. That's what they're best at. You don't want to buy them and take on that kind of cost on your own. That's not fiscally responsible at all. So let the WWE continue to try to make money from its product and make what profit that it can from the product that they put out. I don't see WWE being bought anytime soon. Ever. I don't see it ever being bought. Let's get on into the cancellations of the shows. New Japan canceled their Best of Super Juniors 27 tournament due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was slated to go from May the 12th to June the 6th. It has not been rescheduled. New Japan is looking into running shows without fans in attendance, but the health and safety of their performers and staff is of the utmost importance. Dates beyond June the 6th are going to be examined by New Japan. They announced the postponement of Wrestle Dynasty out of Madison Square Garden and postponed it all the way to 2021. It was slated to take place this August the 22nd. It has been postponed to go into 2021. Not sure of a date just yet. The WWE has announced rescheduled dates for their live event tour out of Australia and New Zealand. They have now been sent to July the 29th, 30th, and 31st. The original tour date of 2021. The original tour dates were to be from August the 6th to the 8th of this year. And also, SummerSlam. That was to take place in Boston. Ain't gonna happen. The mayor of Boston announced that nothing like that would be happening. WWE SummerSlam will not be taking place in Boston due to the COVID-19 pandemic. That day, when was this announced? On the 8th, 2 days ago, on Friday, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh announced the suspension of all large-scale gatherings, such as parades and festivals, through Labor Day. Also, no permit will be issued for an event that could draw a large crowd before September the 7th. SummerSlam was scheduled to take place on August the 23rd at the TD Garden in Boston, which holds about 20,000 people, and you would have the takeover that same weekend as well. WWE has not commented on the mayor's announcement as of now. We're continuing to follow that. So, SummerSlam is not going to have a crowd as well, unless they can move that show to a different arena that may have a large crowd. Might I suggest places like Arkansas, Georgia, and other states that I've seen pictures of a TJ Maxx in Northeast Arkansas that is just filled to the brim with people without masks. Do what you want. You know, if it were up to me, if it were me in the WWE, I would not be doing any live events anywhere, anytime soon. That's the last thing I would want to be doing. AEW, trying to be ahead of the curve, going into Wednesday's show, said that they were performing rapid tests for COVID-19 and it was given to all of their talent and crew before entering their show on Wednesday. Tony Khan, being the Anthony Fauci that he is, confirmed that all test results were negative going into AEW's Dynamite taping. So, thanks Tony Khan. Thank you for reassuring us that your show was safe. We should do that live. We should do those kind of tests live. Speaking of AEW, one thing they were not ahead of the curve on is bloodletting at their Full Gear pay-per-view earlier in the year, last year in Maryland. All AEW was fined $10,000 by the Maryland Athletic Commission for violating state regulations during their Lights Out match between Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. Jamel in the chat room going, wee! The complaint was filed by former WCW announcer Christopher Cruz. The commission previously stated that Maryland, quote, prohibits wrestlers from deliberately lacerating themselves or their opponents or introducing human or animal blood into the match, none of which happened in that match. Still, the commission decided to fine the company $10,000 for lacerations and blood spilled in the match. Gil's bringing up when it comes to AEW's chat that they were all staying in the same hotel where there was a positive UFC guy, so they had to test again. That'll happen. That'll happen. AEW has 30 days to pay this $10,000 fine, or their license in the state of Maryland will be suspended. Speaking on his Facebook page, Christopher Cruz, the former WCW announcer, said the fine is a, quote, black eye for AEW and for their business. What are we to make of this? I mean, what kind of sour grapes is this? I mean, what kind of sour grapes is this, really? Since when was Christopher Cruz, just such a gumshoe? What's in it for him? He says, quote, look, the easy thing to say in response to the $10,000 fine levied on AEW by the Maryland Sports Athletic Commission is that it is pocket change for a billionaire. I get that. But it ain't nothing, and it is public, or will be on May the 20th when the commission meets and then posts the consent order on its website and distributes it to all other commissions throughout the country. Keep in mind that the next violation will result in a revocation of their license in Maryland and possible show stoppage in the middle of a match. Well, congratulations, Christopher Cruz. You just got your name read off by people. You got some attention. No one's paying attention to this. No one. Congratulations. You got yourself famous. Good for you. That's all I really see. It's not really as big of a deal as you'd think. But hey, whatever tugs at your bobber, little fella. Those that are on the injury list this week. Razar with a torn bicep. He is out until SummerSlam. Kevin Owens with an ankle injury. Do not know the extent of it right now. He had x-rays done last Sunday. So as far as we can tell, we're going to slate him to be ready for SummerSlam is what we're looking at. Lars Sullivan, still on the main roster, has been injured for nearly 15 months. 16 months, it looks like, with incredibly torn ACL and MCL. Xavier Woods and Ember Moon trying to recuperate from Achilles tendon surgery. They'll be back for SummerSlam times. Jimmy Uso with a needing knee injury of some kind, probably knee cleanup injury. Knee cleanup surgery. Probably back around Survivor Series, we're anticipating. Boa, torn rotator cuff and labrum. He will not be back until SummerSlam. Fandango had a dislocated elbow. He should have returned about 2 or 3 months ago, but as far as we can tell, he's too busy helping film the 3rd season of Southpaw Regional Wrestling. Brings a smile to everyone's face. And finally, Jessamine Duke, cleanup surgery on both of her elbows. She will not be back until SummerSlam times. Oh boy. Those are the people that are hurt. What about the people who aren't hurt? What about the people who are perfectly healthy? What about the people who haven't been on TV for, say, 3 weeks? They end up on a very special list. A list that on Monday Night Raw, we saw many people jump off But many people jump right back on, and there's some big names on this list. Really big names, but they aren't going to be on there too long. They're all really going to be on TV this coming week. But still, they made it on the list for the first time, and maybe first time ever in their contract. And it's the WWE milk carton. I'm so popular. I've got Billy Blue. It's been a weird day. I just can't. It's just not flowing for me right now. Just really isn't. Celebrated Mother's Day yesterday when we should celebrate it today. But on Mother's Day, we're doing wrestling pay-per-views and stuff. And my allergies are bugging me. And, it's been a weird day. But there's only one constant in this world, and that is the WWE milk carton. I am going down this list. Prepare yourselves. It is 44 deep. 44 deep. Are you ready? The WWE milk carton was specifically designed to prepare you for WWE's spring cleaning. This is why I do this. That's why when the spring cleaning occurred 3 weeks ago, everyone's like, oh my God, how could they? How could they? And I'm like, guys, no shock. So, 44 deep on the WWE milk carton. You ready? Take a sip. Wrote a song about it. Like to hear it? Here you go. Elias. We have not seen him since the April 17th episode of Smackdown, where he was gruesomely injured by Karen Bourbon. This is kayfabe injury. According to the WWE, he has bruised fingers and a bruised larynx. How does one bruise a larynx? Naomi. Have not seen her since that same episode of SmackDown where she faced off against Dana Brooke to qualify for the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I have no idea what's happening here. She comes back in the Royal Rumble. Fantastic look. Fantastic look, and everything was talked about on mainstream media. And when I mean mainstream, I'm talking like all of the women's talk shows. And now, here we are, almost 5 months later, she's back on the milk carton, not doing anything. What's happening? Something is happening here. I mean, we know why Jey Uso isn't performing. He hasn't been on television since April the 17th, where he was involved in a triple threat match for the SmackDown tag team titles between him, The Miz, and Big E. The reason we aren't seeing Jey Uso on TV is because his brother Jimmy Uso is injured. So I get why that. But why is Naomi not on TV? I don't know. Unless they're keeping her off TV so that she will go for Bailey. I don't know. This one really, really worries me. This worries me. I don't want to say Jamel saying that WWE kind of dropped the ball on Naomi. I don't know if it's they didn't have enough faith or what, or if she wasn't getting... They know something we don't, is what I'm going to say. Tomato Chomper. Haven't seen him since April 15th when Karrion Kross gave him a big ol' hug and beat him up backstage to end that show on NXT. He'll be back soon enough to carry on a program with Karrion Kross. That's no big deal. Welcome for the first time to the WWE milk carton, the Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch. Oh, but Doug, she was doing a guest spot on the TV show Billions on HBO. I know. Oh, she's probably going to be on Raw tomorrow. I know. But facts are facts. Numbers are numbers. It's been 3 weeks since we've seen her on. That's all I got. I can't think of anything else. It's been 3 weeks since we've seen Becky. Threw my hands in the air and said that she's crazy. The meme, Becky Lynch. I don't miss her. Really don't. Don't miss her at all. It's also been 3 weeks since we've seen Lana, and there's very good reason for that. There will be a divorce angle coming up soon, and Lana will be released from the WWE. Oney Lorcan. Haven't seen him since that April 13th episode of Monday Night Raw where he squared off against Aleister Black. That was a very fun match. Oney Lorcan is always a great hand to bring people up. He's a great hard hitter guy. Great stuff. Great stuff in the ring. I'm sure we'll see him and Danny Burch teaming up again sometime to augment talent too. Tucker. This saddens me. This makes me sad. We have not seen Tucker since the April 10th episode of Smackdown. It's been a full month since he faced off against Dolph Ziggler. To be the third wheel in a great program that's going on involving Otis, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville, and Dolph Ziggler, I feel so sorry for this guy. Damn it, he's great. He's fine in the ring. He's great in there with Otis and being the tag team. Great babyface in peril. Someone his size to be a convincing babyface in peril because of the hot tag you get from Otis. You can't find that. Man, I feel sorry for this guy. I hope he's not let go. I really hope he's not let go. Malcolm Bivens. Haven't seen him since the April 8th episode of NXT where he and his tag team Indus Sher were talking backstage. On the April 8th episode, they faced off against Everrise. That is their only match that they've had. They are green as hell. We are not going to be seeing these guys back on TV for maybe another 2 months. Malcolm Bivens himself need to figure out what the hell he is. Okay? He does not, the facial expressions that he has do not make him an evil corporate kind of guy. Malcolm Bivens is fantastic on a microphone, don't get me wrong, but for the love of God, he needs to make up his mind on what he wants to be. Big Show, haven't seen him since the April 6th episode of Monday Night Raw, where he kind of had a dark match post-WrestleMania going after Drew McIntyre's newly won WWE title. Probably not going to be seeing him anytime soon. Danny Burch, haven't seen him since he teamed up with Oney Lorcan on the April 6th episode of Monday Night Raw. That was the post-WrestleMania episode of Raw, to face off against Cedric Alexander and Ricochet in order to make Cedric Alexander and Ricochet seem like a big deal. And wow, look what that got them. Bork Laser, haven't seen him since night 2 of WrestleMania when he lost the WWE title to Drew McIntyre. We're probably not going to see him for a while either. I don't even think we're going to see him at the Performance Center at all. We're not going to see him for a long time, not until we have live crowds again. Edge, we haven't seen him since WrestleMania Night 2 when he squared off against Randy Orton when they had their Falls Count Anywhere match on that Night 2 of WrestleMania. These two are both scheduled to appear on Monday Night Raw tomorrow night. Mojo Rowley. Thank goodness Rob Gronkowski is with the WWE now that Mojo can be on TV more often. We haven't seen him since night 2 of WrestleMania when Gronkowski won the 24/7 title. Now Gronkowski is going back to the NFL and Mojo can go back to being on the milk carton. Natalya, haven't seen her since she had her pre-show match for WrestleMania Night 2 versus Liv Morgan. I don't miss her, do you? Sami Zayn, Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. Have not seen him since night 1 of WrestleMania on April the 4th, where he defended his Intercontinental title against Daniel Bryan. He is apparently staying in Canada or something. He hasn't been on TV, and so taking the place of him has been Baron Corbin, with Cesaro and Nakamura flanked behind him. Sami, this is not looking good. R-Truth, haven't seen him since night 1 of WrestleMania, where he lost the 24/7 title on April the 4th. He is scheduled to perform tonight on the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. He has a match, and we're going to talk about that. Joaquin Wilde, haven't seen him since April the 1st episode of NXT, where he had a match against Kushida. He lost, and then he was chucked into an SUV by Los Conquistadores. Killian Dane and his receding hairline, haven't seen him since the March 25th episode of NXT, where he faced off against some guy named Tahuti Miles in an attempt to try to make Killian Dane viable. See how well that did. Tyler Breeze, haven't seen him since April 25th episode of NXT, where he faced off against Jordan Devlin, I believe. Did I have that right? No, Austin Theory. He faced off against Austin Theory in order to confirm Austin Theory as a big deal. That actually succeeded, because then Austin Theory would go on to perform in his very first WrestleMania match at the tender age of 22 or 23. He's younger than me. That's all that matters. Riddick Moss, haven't seen him since the March 23rd episode of Monday Night Raw, where he was jogging down the street of any suburban neighborhood and lost his 24/7 title to R-Truth. Roman Reigns, haven't seen him since the March 20th episode of Smackdown, where he was signing the contract to face Goldberg for the Universal title. He appeared in a video interview with TMZ, stating that he is not at the television tapings due to his health, but more that his family just gave birth to bouncing twin boys, and so he wants to be there for them, and that's all well and good. Whatever the reason it be, it doesn't matter. He hasn't been on TV since March the 20th. Let's keep it going. No, Jeff Hardy was on TV last Friday. Kyle O'Reilly, haven't seen him since the March 11th episode of NXT, where him and Bobby Fish went after their rematch of the NXT Tag Team titles against Pete Dunne and Matt Riddle. He has diabetes. He is in Canada and cannot travel. Grizzled Young Veterans, haven't seen them since the March 11th episode of NXT, where they ran in and blasted Dune and Riddell after their successful title defense. We had been pumping this tag team up for over a month prior to the show on March the 11th. It's a good thing we did, because we haven't seen them for 2 months. Raul Mendoza, haven't seen him since the March 11th episode of NXT, where he faced off against Kushida. He lost and was tossed into an SUV by Los Conquistadores, which, again, when you've got a match against Kushida, you'd better win, or else Los Conquistadores are going to chuck you into an SUV. AOP, even though Rizar is injured, Akam is not, so I'm counting both of them on this one. Haven't seen them since the Teddy Long special 8-man tag on an episode of Monday Night Raw. This is not looking good. Bobby Roode, haven't seen him since Elimination Chamber on March the 8th, where he was in the Tag Team Elimination Chamber match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I'm sure he's in Canada, or something. I don't know. Shorty G, haven't seen him since the March 6th episode of SmackDown, where he went to Apollo Crews in the gorilla position before Apollo's match with Sheamus and asked him if he needed some help against Sheamus. Apollo said, "No, I've got this." Ever since then, Apollo Crews is now on Monday Night Raw. Sheamus is in a program with Jeff Hardy on SmackDown, and Shorty G is nowhere to be found. Me thinks he may be injured. but we will see. Marina Shafir, haven't seen her since the March 4th episode of NXT where she shoved a stick through a cage wall so that Roderick Strong could use it against Velveteen Dream. That did not help at all. Mansoor, haven't seen him since Super Showdown out of Riyadh or Jeddah or Bismarck, South Dakota on February the 27th, where he had a match against Dolph Ziggler, which once again just proves to us that Mansoor only performs in his home country of South Dakota. Bronson Reid, we haven't seen him since the February 26th episode of NXT, where he faced off against Killian Dane in order for NXT's attempt to try to recapture the magic of big man matches like Keith Lee versus Double D. We see how that turned out. Kona Reeves, haven't seen him since the March 19th episode of NXT, where he got squashed by Keith Lee in less than 25 seconds. Mercedes Martinez, haven't seen her since the February 5th episode of NXT, where she had a match against Casey Catanzaro, which was used as an augmentation match to make Mercedes Martinez seem like a big deal. See how good that did. Vanessa Bourne, we haven't seen her since the number one contenders battle royale on the January 15th episode of NXT, which was used to determine the number one contender for the NXT women's title to face Rhea Ripley at NXT TakeOver Portland in February. It has been 4 months since we've seen Vanessa Bourne. I'm sure we may see her pop up soon enough with Aaliyah siding with Robert Stone and Chelsea Green. This should take us into last year. That's right, Gills. They finally added Mercedes Martinez to the main roster. Mustafa Ali. We have not seen him since the December 27th episode of Smackdown, where he was busy saying inspirational shit. We don't know. He may be the guy sitting behind all of those computers on SmackDown and saying the truth must be heard and oh. The Iconics. We have not seen them since the November 25th episode of Monday Night Raw.
Hey, Kayla!
The last time we saw them, they were too busy hawking shit. They were too busy hawking shit for WWEshop.com.
You gotta be joking me!
I miss them so much. I know you do too, but I am afraid. I'm really, really afraid. Peyton Royce is too busy posting TikTok videos of her dancing. Billie Kay is almost all but vanished from the Twitter sphere. She's liking stuff that people like, that say that she likes, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, Peyton Royce loves the dancing on the Instagrams and the TikToks and everything. It's great and all, but I really miss them, and I've got a feeling I don't want them to go, but I'm so afraid.
Just study that question, hey? You go to journalism for that?
I'm afraid. I mean, I really will miss them.
Hey, Kayla!
Bo Dallas. Haven't seen him since the November 15th episode of SmackDown, where he, Curtis Axel, and Drew Gulak were all in the ring making fun of Braun Strowman going into Survivor Series. I don't know why he's there. I really don't. If Curtis Axel is gone, then he might be gone as well. And then finally, we come to the stalwart of the milk carton. The Grand Poobah. Stalwart of the milk carton. It will be another 4 months, basically. Another 4 months and a week until he becomes the brand new golden gallon of the WWE milk carton. And of course, whenever I say his name, everyone has the response that I think, and that is, who? Arturo Ruas. We have not seen him since the September 18th episode of NXT, the debut episode of NXT on the USA Network, where he was in a match against Pete Dunne in order to verify and confirm that Pete Dunne is a big deal. Yes. Who? Yeah, Jamel saying it is not the same without the colognes. For those of you that have been watching the show even before that, it's not the same without No Way Jose. No Way Jose was a treasure on the WWE milk carton when he was the stalwart. He had been gone for nearly 3 or 4 months, and the last we had seen him was backstage leading a conga line, which led me to believe that he had kidnapped 6 other people and has not been seen for over 3 or 4 months. We needed the police to find this man. But those days are gone. And now we just have this bald, bearded fuck to look forward to. I mean, this is what we got. It's what we got to work with, guys. I mean, blame COVID. Blame the Rona. So there you go. All right. That's the WWE milk carton. Who else could be showing up on this thing? Let me bring up the database real quick. Oh. There are some names on this. A lot of females. Actually, let me look at this. Holy cow. Every single performer that is up for the milk carton next week are females. All female performers. Can you name some of them? I bet you definitely can. But there are a couple. There's a big one on there. But we'll see if she shows up this coming week on the TVs and the things. So yeah. Lewis saying, sorry he's late. I'm doing good. Whee! You missed all the technical difficulties. This is kind of a relatively short show. But you got here just in time for... It's time to make some predictions. 3 new matches added to the Money in the Bank card to add on to the 5 that we previously locked. We were successful in the lock of AJ Styles, and so it's time to do the whole damn thing. Here we go. 8 matches are now on the Money in the Bank card. That is up from 5 that we saw last week on the show. And because there were only 5 matches slated for the Money in the Bank card, I decided, well, we'll just lock them all. Doug, what do you mean by locking? Well, whenever I make predictions on this show, sometimes I'm so confident in them that I lock them. And if that prediction that was locked fails to come to fruition, we take a shot of the Luna Azul Blanco tequila. Is there enough in here in case we get 5 matches wrong? Don't worry. We've got a backup. Okay. Because of my technical mishaps earlier today, and also because, damn it, I just don't care anymore, I'm going to say it again. This entire pay-per-view is locked. I don't care anymore. Okay? If WWE's television shows aren't entertaining and I'm the one that's got to talk about the non-entertaining shows, then damn it, I got to try to be as entertaining as possible. And there's only one way that I can do that. And it's not sober. So, 3 matches have been added to the card. One of them is a pre-show match. So, 8 locks we're going right now. I'm incredibly confident. Look, I locked that AJ Styles was going to be the 6th person on the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. I locked that sucker in. What? So you ready? All right, here we go. In a pre-show match, Jeff Hardy squaring off against Cesaro. Okay. Ramifications of this. Sheamus has been calling out Jeff Hardy, and the two of them butted heads. It's on Smackdown last Friday. Cesaro is part of program involving Karen Bourbon and Money in the Bank, I guess. With Sami Zayn no longer around, Cesaro and Nakamura have been palling around with Karen Bourbon. So, this leads me to believe that we're going to get a DQ of some kind here. We're getting a DQ of some kind. Sheamus is going to get involved. That's what it's looking like to me. Gil saying he's going with Jeff since he is heading for a Sheamus feud. Yeah, it's kind of what I'm looking at. Jamel Cesaro looks confused in this photo. I am too. Just trying to figure out what even Jeff Hardy is. Yeah. I want to see Jeff lose so he can eventually go to AEW with his brother. God, Lewis. I don't care where Jeff Hardy goes. I don't care. But the way it's looking, I've got to go with Jeff. Just because I see Sheamus coming down, causing the DQ finish. If it's not a DQ finish, then Jeff Hardy is over. Yeah, so, yeah. I'll go with Jeff Hardy. Zuzu is a Polish fan. Hi! Wee! Thank you so much for joining the show. Thank you so much. So, yeah, we're locking Jeff Hardy on that match. Match number 2 that was added to the card. Why this is happening, I don't know, and I don't care. R-Truth versus MVP. Now, what could happen here, okay? The only things we know about what's going on with the characters is R-Truth is doing jack and squat involving the 24/7 title. Gronkowski has the 24/7 title now, so R-Truth's got nothing going on. MVP is too busy. He's trying to be a manager to this Shane Thorne, Brendan Fink duo. The problem is he hasn't shown up ringside to their matches. They had a match last Monday against Cedric Alexander and Ricochet, and they ended up winning. So this is just a random-ass match that I have to lock. Oh, boy. What are we getting with this? Mashoon saying go with R-Truth, but don't lock it. No, I have to lock it. This entire pay-per-view is locked. I don't care. I just don't care. The whole pay-per-view is locked. So, what are we doing here? I'm refilling my sources. Just do a shot and move on. I might as well, Goose. I might as well. Look, I'm going R-Truth. I don't care. I'm going R-Truth. MVP hasn't won a match yet since returning since the Royal Rumble. I'll go with R-Truth. I can't believe I'm talking about R-Truth in a pay-per-view. R-Truth is having a pay-per-view match. Let that sink in. But no, I got to take R-Truth in this one. MVP hasn't won a pay-per-view match yet. All right. The third match on the card. Oh, boy. This one I'm going to lose. This one I'm going to lose. Fatal 4-way for the Smackdown Tag Team titles. Do any of you remember the last time there was a Smackdown Tag Team title match and it was just one team against one team? Can any of y'all remember the last time that happened? I'll tell you one thing, it wasn't on a pay-per-view. Do you realize that ever since Elimination Chamber, these titles have been defended clusterfuck style all the time? Seriously. 2 triple threat matches during WrestleMania and the Smackdown after WrestleMania and Elimination Chamber. Xavier Woods is set to return around SummerSlam times. We need to have some kind of build-up for his return. At some point, New Day needs to lose the titles so that we can have the triumphant return of Xavier Woods. But I don't know if that's going to be for New Day to win the titles or for them to successfully retain them after they're having a grueling match against the Forgotten Sons. I'm specifically looking at the Forgotten Sons here. Miz and Morrison, I don't know. Lucha House Party. Kalisto has not been with Lucha House Party for a while now. He is still recovering from a dislocated elbow injury that he should have come back from 2 months ago. Miz and Morrison are the only team in this grouping here that does not have a third wheel of some kind. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I don't know who to pick here. It ain't Lucha House Party. I know that. It ain't Lucha House Party. So what I'm going to do, I really don't know. I'm going to take a shot anyway, probably, even if I pick it and try to use deductive logic. So we're going to do this the old-fashioned way. Do it by chance. All right. Should I use a D20 or a 6 or a D6? Now we'll use a D6. We'll use a D6 for this one. All right. I have no idea who's winning this match, and frankly, I don't care. You know? Goose saying, I think the Rocket are strapped hot on the Forgotten Sons. I do too, but not right now. I see the Forgotten Sons getting the titles. My problem right now is that Jackson Riker needs to do something other than being at ringside. He has only had one match in the past calendar year, and that was with NXT. It's been beyond a calendar year. They have not had him in a ring in a very long time. So that my big deal right now is with him. But here we go. D6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1 or 2 is New Day. 3 and 4 is Miz and Morrison. 5 and 6 is Forgotten Sons. Here we go. I don't trust myself in actually picking them, so I'm just going to let Chance do it. Forgotten Sons. Forgotten Sons, lock it. Tables and chairs and stuff can be brought into this match. Ladders can be brought into this match. The Forgotten Sons are the only ones with a third person that can really wreak havoc. It's kind of what it's looking like. So, all right, Forgotten Sons. There you go. Caryn defending the SmackDown Women's title against Tamina. We already locked this one a while last week, saying that Caryn was going to retain the SmackDown Women's title. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. Sasha Banks could come in and, stuff can happen and cause the turn for Sasha to be a babyface. That's kind of what everyone is anticipating here. Tamina actually becoming champion. No. Jamel saying it would be great if Tamina got it. I got it. I'm fearing that they're just going to give it to her just to give it to her, but no. No. Going with Caryn on this one. Drew McIntyre defending the WWE title against Seth Rollins. This one was a no-brainer as well. We locked Drew McIntyre to win this one. Just kind of a placeholder program of sorts. of all of the titles, I think right now going on in the WWE, this is the one that has the most question marks. After Seth Rollins, who are you putting against Drew McIntyre? Who? You need to build up some guys to face him. I don't know if anyone else is really built up. Kevin Owens could have been, but he's out with an ankle injury. Samoa Joe has still not been cleared off a concussion protocol. We don't know what's happening here. And you got Jinder Mahal, who came back, but he hasn't been on TV since his return. So Edge is returning, Randy Orton's returning. They'll appear on TV here in the next tomorrow, on tomorrow's episode of Monday Night Raw. Sorry, Lewis, Dolph Ziggler's over on Smackdown. He would be the go-to answer, but no. So right now, the WWE title to me is, the picture to me is way, way blurry. So we got to keep it that way and keep Drew McIntyre with the title. Braun Strowman versus Bray Wyatt. Not the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Regular Bray Wyatt. I see this match just ending and there not really being a finish. I see this just out of nowhere. The match stops, appears the Fiend, and there you go. I have Braun Strowman winning. Okay, Braun Strowman will win the match. Braun Strowman's going to win the match because the Fiend will show up and then cause a DQ. There you go. That's what I see. Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. You can try to make cases for all of the females here, but I will make the case for who I locked. Okay? First off, it's not Carmella and it's not Dana Brooke. Those two are going to be going on against each other and causing a program between those two that's just going to fill time on SmackDown. Shayna Baszler has not been wowing anyone with her promos. It's been pretty difficult for her to come in. Asuka, she's done way too much. She's already vied for it. No. And same with Lacey Evans. She's had hers as well. And so I'm not going back on what I picked last week. I'm sticking with Nia Jax. And I'm locking it because I want Nia Jax and Becky Lynch. Because I want Becky Lynch to actually, have a match of some kind, and then Nia Jax comes out, punches her in the face, takes it. So there you go. That's what I'm taking. I take Nia Jax winning the Money in the Bank women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And then finally, the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Cases can be made for everyone. I would love for Karen Borbin to win this. I would absolutely love Karen Borbin to win Money in the Bank, but he's already won it. And it's a rarity that someone wins it more than once. I mean, let Edge and CM Punk have those. It would be fun if Otis won it, but I just don't see that. No. Rey Mysterio? No, don't see Rey Mysterio winning it. Daniel Bryan? No, he's already won it. Aleister Black? Hell no. No. I locked it last week. I locked it when he wasn't even in the match, and I'm keeping it that way. AJ Styles. AJ Styles is going to win the Money in the Bank match. Lock it. Period. Since he doesn't have Gallows and Anderson alongside with him so that he can try to make them look good, what's he got? What are you going to have AJ Styles do? He just got buried in a pile of dirt by The Undertaker at WrestleMania. How else are you going to try to prop him up that he's a big deal? Money in the Bank. That's how you do it. No-brainer. Absolute no-brainer. Give it to AJ Styles. Keep him as a heel. Could cash in on... we don't even know when these matches are happening. Okay? So, that's the other thing, too. We don't know when the Money in the Bank ladder match is going to be happening during the show. It could be the very first thing they do. We're not sure. We know it's already pre-taped. Everything is pre-taped. Is someone cashing in? Is Nia Jax or AJ Styles going to cash in the briefcase? I don't know. I don't think so. We can't have that so early. We have to use that as material to build up more stories and more programs in the situation that we're in, not having a crowd. So I don't see a cash-in happening tonight. Nah, no cash-in. No cash-ins on the briefcases once they're won. So here we go. A rundown of all 8 matches that are on the Money in the Bank card. All of them locks. I have, in the pre-show, I have Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy winning over Cesaro, whether Sheamus is involved or not. I have R-Truth defeating MVP for no reason whatsoever. I have the Forgotten Sons becoming your brand new SmackDown Tag Team Champions in the 4th straight clusterfuck title match for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. I have Caryn successfully defending her SmackDown Women's title against Tamina. I have Drew McIntyre successfully defending the WWE title against Seth Rollins. I have Braun Strowman successfully defending the Universal title against Bray Wyatt sans Fiend. I have Nia Jax winning the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. And then finally, I have AJ Styles winning the Men's Money in the Bank ladder match. 8 shots of tequila on the line. Every match. Pray for me. That's going to do it for Wrestleview Weekly, and sorry for the technical difficulties earlier in the show, but frankly, I've got a lot of stuff that I still got to work on my end. You know, souping up the broadcast, brand new equipment, brand new layouts and stuff. Tune in tonight after the Money in the Bank pay-per-view. Mike Tedesco, the effervescent editor-in-chief, and myself will be right here giving our thoughts about the show. Cinematic Money in the Bank ladder match involving a dozen men and women fighting through a building. Kind of like the Super Bowl commercial of years lore. So, absolutely worth checking out. In the meantime, I've got a load of laundry to do. I got to make sure my Wrestleview polo is ready to go. You guys take it easy. I will see you later tonight right here on the show. And as always, know when you're being sold to.